The Analects of Confucius, Chapter 2, 2.1. The Master said, "Governing through moral virtue is like the North Star. It remains fixed in place while all other stars revolve around it." Commentary. This passage introduces Confucius' view of governance. While scholars often contrast Confucian authoritative rule with Taoist non-action, passages like this reveal significant overlap. Confucius similarly advocates alignment with inner moral principles over forceful intervention, challenging rigid distinctions between the two schools. 2.2. The Master said, "The 300 poems of the Book of Odes may be distilled to one essential phrase: think without impurity." 2.3. The Master said, "Govern through laws and punishments, and people will avoid crime yet lack shame. Govern through virtue and guide with propriety, and they will develop shame and self-correction." 2.4. The Master said, "At 15, I set my heart on learning. At 30, I stood firm. At 40, I was free from doubt. At 50, I understood heaven's decree. At 60, I discerned truth effortlessly. At 70, I followed my heart's desires without overstepping bounds." 2.5. Meng Yizi asked about filial piety. Confucius replied, "Do not deviate from reverence." Later, he explained to Fan Chi, "Serve parents with propriety while they live. Bury them with propriety when they die. Honor them with propriety thereafter." 2.6. Meng Hubo asked about filial piety. Confucius said, "Do not let your parents worry, except when you are ill." Commentary. A child's wellness eases parental concern, especially during separation. 2.7. Ziyu asked about filial piety. Confucius said, "Today, filial means supporting parents. Yet we feed horses and dogs too. Without reverence, what distinguishes human care?" 2.8. Zixia asked about filial piety. Confucius said, "The difficulty lies in one's expression. Is it truly filial when the young merely perform duties or serve food in wine?" 2.9. The Master said, "I could speak to Hui all day without objection. He seemed dull, yet observing his private conduct revealed insight. Hui was far from dull." Commentary. Hui, Confucius' most admired disciple, died young, a loss Confucius deeply mourned. 2.10. The Master said, "Observe a person's methods, examine their motives, discern their true satisfactions. Can anyone hide their character? Truly, can they?" Commentary. Inner sincerity manifests outwardly. Deceit or goodness inevitably reveals itself. 2.11. The Master said, "One who reviews the old to understand the new is worthy to teach." 2.12. The Master said, "The noble person is no mere utensil." Commentary. The Junzi transcends specialized utility. Their mind remains broad and adaptable, resisting narrow roles or exploitation. 2.13. Zigong asked about the noble person. Confucius said, "They act before speaking. Afterward, their words follow consistently." 2.14. The Master said, "The noble person embraces all without faction. The petty person factions without embrace." 2.15. The Master said, Learning without reflection is futile. Reflection without learning is perilous. 2.16. The Master said, dedicating oneself to unorthodox doctrines brings harm. 2.17. The Master said, you, shall I teach you wisdom? Recognize what you know is known, and what you don't know is unknown. This is true wisdom. Commentary. This awareness represents profound attainment across philosophical traditions. 2.18. Zizhong studied to advance his official rank. Confucius advised, hear much, set aside doubtful points, speak cautiously on the rest few will fault you. See much, avoid the unsafe, act carefully on the rest, you'll have little regret. With faultless speech and regretless action, advancement follows. 2.19. Duke Ai asked, how may I win the people's allegiance? Confucius replied, promote the upright, dismiss the corrupt, and they will follow. Promote the corrupt, dismiss the upright, and they will not. 2.20. Ji Kengzai asked, how can I inspire reverence, loyalty, and diligence? Confucius said, rule with dignity for reverence. Practice filial piety and compassion for loyalty. Elevate the worthy and instruct the incapable for diligence. 2.21. Someone asked Confucius, why do you not serve in government? He replied, the book of history teaches, be filial and fraternal. This too influences governance. If this is governance, why must I serve in government? 2.22. The Master said, without trustworthiness, what use is a person? Like a wagon missing its yoke pin, how shall it move? 2.23. Zizhong asked if the state of affairs 10 generations hence could be known. Confucius said, the Shang dynasty adapted xiao rituals. The Xiao adapted Shang rituals. Their modifications are knowable. Thus, even 100 generations after Zhou may be known. 2.24. The Master said, to worship spirits, not your ancestors, is flattery. To see what is right yet fail to act is cowardice.